Hi, this is LifeBliss Lisa and Monique Brown Vegan here today, and we're going to make some black eyed peas marsala. And the exciting part of that is that we're going to cook it in the pressure cooker. I know a lot of people have talked to me and said that they were afraid of the pressure cooker. They remember their great grandmother had a pressure cooker, it exploded and blew up the house or whatever. No, this is 2012 and we have really good pressure cookers available that don't explode as long as you within reason. I mean, you don't overfill it and you don't, just turn it on and leave it on high heat. It's generally safe. So the reason why we're using a pressure cooker is because a lot of times you're busy, you don't have enough time to cook some dried beans or have them soaking all day and then cook them for however many hours, 3-4 hours. You don't have time. So with a pressure cooker, you can take dry beans and cook them in a matter of, depending on the bean and the size of the bean, anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. For black eyed peas, you don't have to soak them at all. You can just cook them and it takes about 20-25 minutes. And for some of the beans, you really do need to soak them for a little while, but it still only takes about 20 to 30 minutes to cook them. So first I'm just going to give you a look at the pressure cooker. It looks big and scary, but actually it's not. It's just a pot with this locking lid. And so when you cook the food, this lid can be a little fiddly, so excuse me if it gets if it seems like I'm fiddling around. You place the lid on, and then there you go. You lock it in place, and there's a little latch here that you push up in order to lock it, and then depending on whether you want any of the pressure to escape or not, you can turn it to whichever you want. Now you cook the food in here, and then once it's done or you're turning it off, this will be locked because there's high pressure inside. You won't be able to open it. That's part of the safety features. You'll have to turn this dial over to this little steam pressure release thing, and steam will come out. It will go shh. It sounds all scary. It's nothing wrong. It's just the steam releasing the pressure from the pot. When the pressure is sufficiently low enough so that it won't explode on you when you open it, you release the latch, and then you can open it. Now it's always important to open it like this so that the steam goes this way and not in your face. Okay? So, any questions?
No, that's it. I need one of these because I feel like I'm always soaking overnight.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the last minute. You're on your way home from somewhere and you're like, oh, I really want some black eyed peas marsala. I don't have time for all of that. So right now I'm just putting in, I didn't measure these beans. It's really not that important. But if you look in the pot, you can see how deep they are. Now, when you use a pressure cooker, you just want to make sure that you're not within like 2 inches of the top of the pan with your liquid, because then that would create too much pressure. And in reality, you only need a little bit more than the same amount of liquid as you have beans. And I just add a little bit more liquid because sometimes you might burn it. If you have enough liquid, you won't burn it. Okay. So I'm going to add the water, and then I'm going to put it on the stove, and then we're going to wait. Now, the other ingredients don't need to be in the pressure cooker. We just want the beans to soften up for now. We just want to cook the beans. So there's no use in putting in everything. We'll do that afterwards. But as you can see, I'm just going to fill it up about 1 part beans to approximately 1.5 parts water. Okay? Maybe 2 parts water, just a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm also going to salt the water, which is something I don't usually do. But I've learned recently that if you salt your water, it tends to take the flavors better when you season.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Okay. That's my special safety lock. Sorry. All right. Now I'm gonna put the lid on, lock it. The little lever goes up. I don't want any steam coming out, so I put it on 1. And I'm going to put this on medium-high heat for about 20 minutes. Yeah. And then I'll check it. If it's not soft enough, then we'll put it back in. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I think the beans are done. So I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to release the steam. It's going to take a few minutes, but so that this can then unlock. Okay, so I'm going to turn it. Get ready. Oh. Not a lot of steam. Okay, let's see if we can open it now. There wasn't a lot of steam. I'm a little disappointed because it's dramatic when I let the steam loose, but since, you know, oh well.
That's okay. Yeah, we're good.
We tested the beans. They're soft, you know, the way beans are supposed to be. So now we're going to add the remaining ingredients, and then we're just going to let this simmer for a little bit. The first thing I have here is, these were small onions. These are 2 small Vidalia onions. I'm just going to add here. This is garam masala. You can find this mixed, or you can find online lots of recipes to make your own garam masala. Basically, it's an Indian recipe with coriander, cinnamon, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, and a few other spices. It can be spicy, so you have to kind of test it out first. Here is about a teaspoon or so, maybe a little less, of turmeric. Whoops. This is more coriander. This is freshly grated ginger. Just a little of that. You never want to have too much of that. And finally, 1 can of diced tomatoes and tomato juice. And just mix that up and let it simmer for maybe another 10 to 15 minutes until the onions are actually soft. You don't want your onions to be all hard and crunchy. Okay. Looks like the beans are tender and ready to go. So you can garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And voila, it's done.
Yeah, looks great. My kids really enjoy this recipe, and they don't really even like black eyed peas, so. Yay. It's hot. Not spicy, but hot as far as temperature.